agenda review. Let's call the meeting to order, agenda review and disposition.
Sure, only under non-public, we need to bring up a student issue and then reputation. So on top of personnel and legal issue.
Okay, great. All right, approval of the minutes for June 4th and July 16th, so the retreat and the last school board meeting for the year. I did not see anything. Did anyone see anything? Instructions. Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Both voted for June 4th and June 16th, seconded by, thank you. All those in favor, she looked good. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? Great. Yeah. Student report, that'll start in a while.
When school starts, usually we get one from the student senate.
Yeah, okay, great. And principal's report, Janet.
Yeah, great, thank you. So today was the opening day of teachers, but I'm gonna work backwards since the last time I saw you. So since I've seen you at retreat, we have been away at our admin retreat the first week of August. It's really a unique opportunity at SAE 48 where we as administration, both K-8 and 9-12 get an opportunity to kind of be off campus and be together. So there's a lot of team building. There's a nice onboarding of new administrators that are joining SAE 48. So we did go up to the Mountain View Grand in early August, and we did, typical business, legislative updates, policies and procedures that we're going to talk about. We always go with a reflection of last year and goals for the upcoming year. So that facilitates like a nice dialogue. It helps outline kind of like where I think people are going and what I think their strengths are and what I think their goals are. We have an opportunity to plan opening week, so we did that, and today was the first day. And it's just a really nice time to just be together. And it's proved itself when you have a question and you're not sure who to call. It provides this camaraderie in SAE 48 that when I'm around the state, people are quite envious of. So we went there. We also had a guest speaker who was a retired superintendent, and kind of really challenged all of us this year as leaders to find a good work-life balance. So I brought that to the teachers today, and we'll reflect on that in departments tomorrow. So I thought it was a new space for us, so it's always a little bit kind of settling into a new space up there, but it was a really nice time. Like I said, we opened today. As you arrive at the building, you can see what great shape the building is in. Even a bit short-staffed this summer. The crew, Liza, Mark, Kyle Soma, Rob and his crew, Park and Rec's ground. I mean, they just do an amazing job here. I can't say enough. This year we had 2 recent graduates on staff, so they were helping, and we had 2 current students on staff. So together, they just really came together, and even down to the last room was vacuumed minutes before people were arriving. But it was really well received today. So take a minute to walk around the building if you'd like. It looks great. We completed summer school mid-July. I do have some summer school update numbers for you. We invited 75 students to summer school. 64 students attended. We had 118 courses to complete, and the kids earned 100 credits. So some of those are 0.5 and some of those are 1.0, but by and large, quite a few kids recovered some missed credit from this past year. So I just wanted to thank Crystal Kennedy, is kind of the lead. Gavin Brickley is here as the English specialist, Michelle Charlin for math, and then Jesse Elderkin is here as sort of a para-educator support for kids when there's a little bit of idle time. So, good job to them. Thank you. Athletics started, fall sports have all started. Camps were the previous week, and then preseason and practices began. We were with Todd this afternoon. His quote is, "The number of kids participating is through the roof." I will have definite numbers next month. So that's all good news. Not a surprise, but I do think that we're starting to see a nice flow of kids coming out of the Pemi Baker Leagues that have started a bit younger than some of our previous kids had the opportunity, both in soccer and then the Thundercats for field hockey. So we're definitely seeing the numbers fill in some of the gaps that we might have had. So everything looks great. The fields are in good shape. The weather was a little funny, but we made do with some indoor space this week. Like I said, opening day was today. I'm so happy to report that it was great. We intentionally shifted opening day a little bit, both to accommodate the elementary school. So the K-8 folks are doing they're in their third year of like a literacy alignment project. So it didn't necessarily make sense to open all together. So we opened just Plymouth today here at the high school, and Tanya opened up K-8 at the elementary school. So that was a little bit of a difference. But we brought in a singer-songwriter, a Grammy-winning singer-songwriter, has a background in education, is a principal, has had a whole career. He joined us today with his son. He was very innovative, he was very inclusive. He had a background of the shift that is happening at Plymouth. He had names and a bit of information on all of our new staff. We hired 7 new teachers, and we brought 2 new administrators in. So we had a team of new, so he focused on sort of the onboarding of those folks. I have a little bit of it recorded. I have permission in another month or maybe committee to show you a clip of it. But it really went great. We got some very positive feedback, and people came back in good spirits. So today was opening day. They're here Wednesday and Thursday of this week. We'll run through similar activities like department meeting, and tomorrow's freshman orientation. So we welcome all of our freshmen tomorrow. They arrive at 10:45. They do everything from their schedules to a tour. There's a meet and greet student panel here. There's an all-school barbecue. So tomorrow is a really fun day to greet all these new kids. So that's tomorrow. Otherwise, the upcoming dates, school starts Monday, the 26th for all kids. It's a similar start. It's a 2 4-day weeks with Labor Day in between, and then the first full week will be September 9th. And then we'll be looking quickly down the barrel at Parent Open House Night on the 17th. What's on there? Yeah. Yeah.
Is transportation provided for the incoming freshmen at their orientation?
No.
Okay, any other questions for Oleta, by you? Okay, and then I just wanted to back up, I got ahead of myself. Privilege of the floor, does anyone have anything? Jump in? No? Okay. All right, great. Next committee meetings, we have those September 17th at 5:30. We are gonna have those.
We haven't had them in a while, but I have plenty on the agenda for both committees.
Okay, discussion items, dance program review, Janet.
Yeah, so this was left out when we were at retreats. This is just a summary of, just because it's new and, we want you guys to feel like you're informed and included, that you certainly want to be in attendance at these programs. So this is just a little bit of a reflection of last year and what Audrey's anticipating for this year. She even has some dates. So last year, the fall and spring musicals are listed. This year, she's anticipating a fall play right after Columbus Day weekend. I don't know if anyone in the audience wants to do this, but sure. Yeah. What's exciting for Audrey this year is she did request rights to a play that I can't reveal quite yet because there are certain rules around releasing the title, but it's a real up-and-coming play that she's very excited about. So I'll certainly share that information when allowed. It has to do with how close the show is being done in a different location. So that's all kind of new for me, but she's very excited. The spring musical will be Valentine's Day weekend. So these are just some highlights here. on the right, kids performing. The dance program on the back, Audrey has done quite a bit of curriculum work for me. She came over the summer, and she's really trying to create a pathway for kids between, and giving them a little bit of dance genre experience along the way. Rather than couching it all in dance 1 or dance 2, she'd like to have some flexibility with offering different genres based on some kids' interest. She definitely went out to the middle schools and kind of just spoke of the program just to be sure kids are aware that that's an elective here when they get here. So that's just a proposal that is she's anticipating bringing forth maybe this year or the following school year in terms of curriculum. And then on the back page, she is interested in, a national honor study of dance. So she's interested in bringing performance, both in dance and theater, to a level of recognition. So she's exploring how that looks in other high schools. So that's just a summary of what it might look like. She's sort of in the beginning stages of exploring that. So I just wanted you to know that that's kind of the work that she's doing behind the scenes for production. If you have questions, I will let you know the title when I can.
It's great. And handbook approval from the
Sure.
Yeah.
So electronically, everyone was sent the handbook, but there is extra copies if somebody wanted to read all 58 pages in print, which we have through the handbook. But here are the proposals that Janet will review.
Yeah, so these, I highlighted in blue the procedural changes. So the policy is intact. What we're proposing, and we did propose it to the staff for consideration, knowing that we were coming tonight, is some procedural changes around the tardy policy, around attendance, and around cell phone. So in summary, for tardy and attendance, we put limits back in. There really hasn't been limits since COVID. Because the idea was, post-pandemic, we want all kids to come whenever they want to come, as much as they want to come, because we haven't seen them in however long. So there is a shift back to some quantifiable numbers so that we can provide intervention when needed. So we had done some work with the tardy policy, the tardy procedure last year, and this year, the one thing we're going to add is parent communication once a student has exceeded 16 tardies. However, before they get to 16, there's 3 opportunities to receive intervention through the Bobcat block, so that we know what the barriers to getting to school on time are. We're not just like waiting until they get 16 and then giving them pass credits. We're intervening along the way, but we really hadn't quantified 16 yet because we weren't sure how the Bobcat intervention was going to go. So essentially, we're giving them quite a few chances, intervening, giving them a reset, and so on and so forth. So we just put a limit in there. Similar to attendance, in most cases, we really haven't gone back to like a quantified number for attendance, so we put an attendance limit in for semester courses, full year courses, and 2 credit courses, because those courses meet every day, so the attendance doubles, right? If a student exceeds those limits, with intervention, with parent communication, with all the things we try to do, we have proposed to attach an AF code, an attendance failure code, to the course. You get the credit, they get the grade, but it is noted on their transcript that attendance was a concern. So that just went to the teachers for consideration, and certainly to you. There's no additional penalty, but there's a way for us to inform people that are looking at the transcript that that was a concern. And it incentivizes the kids who don't want that mark on a particular course. So, that's what's on the table. The little trickier one is cell phones, so I don't know how many of you took advantage of the reading the anxious generation or not. We did. And again, it's only one text that says similar things, and how cell phones are influencing this generation. So in terms of the policy as written, the policy has said there will be no cell phones in classrooms.
It already says.
It already says that. But without removing it or making any attempt to separate the phone from the student, the policy really isn't enforceable as written. So at retreat, we discussed this at length. So we have proposed that the cell phone, the kids will have a choice. They'll be turned off in a backpack, or we have purchased pocket charge for every classroom. They can, if they're a kid that doesn't bring a backpack, or they're a kid that thinks, I'm not going to be able to do that very well, there are pocket charts in every classroom. They can just slip their phone in at the beginning of class and take it at the end.
I think some of the justification behind that too, and if you didn't read the book, the disruption is when you get notified constantly with it in your pocket, and then the kids get up, they disrupt you, check whatever notification is. So we're just asking for, when you're in class, have the phone off your body, basically, in your bag. You have a choice. We're not going to be taking phones. We're not going to be causing that kind of disruption, but you can either put it in the pocket or put it in your bag off. And it just gives more focus to the classroom, so kids can stay attention in class. So it's not really a change in policy, it's just an adjustment to when the phone is on the kid, the focus is not there.
So we're really hanging our hats on 80 minutes of uninterrupted instruction time, 4 times a day, plus the Bobcat. It's kind of what we're hanging our hats on. So that'll take some adjustment, right? Teachers, they're gonna have to adjust, like how kids arrive and how kids leave, and the kids are gonna have to adjust. And so we are very determined to be patient with this rollout with kids. Like on the first, we're gonna give it a grace period because they're not used to it. And it's uncomfortable for kids to be without it. And there's reasons that some feel differently. So we are going to be thoughtful about that. We are gonna have a slow roll with this. We're not looking for this policy or this change to be punitive. This procedure is not meant to be punitive. It's just to give them an opportunity to have more uninterrupted time. And limit the bathroom. There's a lot of cell phones in bathrooms. And obviously, we included the violation, but I'm not really worried about the violation part. I'm just, more worried about the procedural part that you're aware of.
Great. Any questions?
Yeah.
So yearly, we do need a motion to approve the changes yearly. You have to do with any changes. They speak up.
All right. So who would like to make that with the list, just the list of those 3 changes?
I'll make the motion.
Why did you list the 3?
I'll make a motion regarding the cell phone policy,
Yeah.
the attendance policy, and the tardy policy, and procedures as written.
In the handbook.
In the
Yeah,
handbook.
basically it's a handbook.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
Second by Paul, all those in favor? Like, a plural, which is abstaining, and great.
So we did send you the handbook, and this is not in there, obviously. So, right, okay.
It gets updated.
Updated. So we will update and we will inform inform in the next.
Right. Other business?
Signature on the audit that I just passed you, that all
Yeah.
is good?
Yeah,
So
that's
I-
done.
That's it.
Okay, great. Privilege of the floor, number 2. Anybody have anything? Thanks for coming. Great, okay, consent items, do we have things circulating? I haven't seen any.
No.
Patrick will agree with that, okay. Board member, any board member topics, any conversation, any questions or investigation? Okay. Great, and then we need a motion to go into non-public. If someone could list the 4 topics for non-public 2, that would be great, and then I'll do roll call.
Want me to do it?
Sure.
Personnel, legal issues, student issue, reputation. And is that 3?
That's, you got the 4.
Okay, I got 4. There you go.
Alright, who would like to make that?
So moved.
Bill and Carolyn? So great, okay,
Chris.
5.
I'm going to see. Motion,
Great, thank you. Alright, as we go, thank you.